How's it going? Welcome to the shop. Hope you're having a great day. Whew, last week was a little rough for me, but time to get back on track. Are you ready? Here we go. Welcome back. Alright, so I was planning on working on these since I haven't really been filming a lot, but I've been working on knives and stuff and getting all these ready for Hamones and stuff. And I was thinking maybe I'll do the Hamones today, but I've been putting the heat treat oven off long enough, and I know a lot of people are waiting to see how it's wired. So I'm not going to finish it today, but I'm going to get to a point where you guys can wire it, get the elements running, and all that. Then the only thing left will be to tighten it up and put the door on. But that'll be in another video, or I might just put it in as extra because I'm not too sure about what I want to do with the door. I'm a poet, don't even know it. Anyway, if you go watch PID 1, he just built a heat treat oven. He's got a pretty awesome idea for a door. On my big heat treat oven, that seems to be the biggest problem is the door. So I want to think about it a little bit more, but I want to show you all how to wire it up and get your elements running. And you know, there's plenty of places to show you how to put a door on. So from there on out, you know, you'll be good to go. I know a lot of people said, I would build an oven, but I don't know how to do electronics. I would build an oven, but the electronics part scares me and all that stuff. So I'm going to try to take it step by step. It's actually fairly easy. I got all these knives in my hands because that's what I was planning on doing. But plus I wanted to show off how good I made the bevels. Man, they're looking real nice. These two knives have actually been sitting on the bench for months, so they need a little TLC. So, but they're ready to be dipped. I actually saw Hamones in all three of these. That should be a good video. I also been working on this one. The handle just needs some hand sanding. But boom, we're all good to go. This one too. I've actually got some Scotch-Brite belts on the way and some cork belts and some Trizac. So eventually when I get all caught up, I'm going to do finishing belts and the pros and cons of each. But anyway, here's one brick for the top. We're going to have to drill it out to put the thermocouple in. So that will be our first task. Measuring everything out, getting it ready, and all that. So let's get to the bench. We're not going to need this till later. We're definitely not going to need this till later because this is what the relay sits on. But I needed it for effect to hold everything else up. What we do need is this. This right here. Here's our thermocouple. Now don't make the mistake I made and buy one of those that thread in that's just one big tube. You need the ones with the ceramic on it. In fact, I'll put a link up in the cards and in the description to the first video where I show all the stuff I bought and all the stuff you'll need to build this. You see, this has to come up here. So what I'm probably going to do is drill a hole to fit this just a little bit, counterbore. But the first thing we have to do, these two go in here like this. Then you wire out this. So first what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to cut a hole. We're going to have to drill 2 holes in the brick for this. This basically is the roof. I might actually even put another half brick in there, but that will just make this hang over. So this is still going to be the middle. So what the first thing you're going to have to do is figure out where your heat treat oven is. basically, here's my bricks. I didn't really have to put this on here, but I figured I would just to hold the place. It's actually going to hang over some, so maybe one day I'll trim that up if it gets on my nerves. But anyway, we're going to want this in the middle. This is our ceiling. Right here. So it's going to be here and here, just in this one. So what we're going to want to do is pull this up. You can see this is going to actually come in a little bit, so I'll probably figure out the diameter of this and drill a hole up in like 1 or 2 inches, just so this can come out. I want my thermocouple in the middle of the oven, so it tells the temperature. So we're going to want to figure out some way of drilling these holes with the least amount of air coming out or anything. So I figure I want mine about right there, so we'll use this to punch it in. There's our 2 holes. Blacken it up. Now we just have to figure out what bit to use for this. So make sure our bit is the same circumference as that. I think this is 5/32 for that. Then we can drill our holes. I don't even have to set it up on the drill press. I got my cordless right here, so hopefully this will work. We'll almost make it, but that should be good enough. Now we'll just have to punch it through. Boom. Boom. As you can tell, this is an old set. Of course, my first day back to making videos, I pick all the wrong stuff, but that's alright. Alright, just a little bit. Nope, still need a little bit more. Now, I don't know if you can see that, but we got this. We got this all good. Now we just have to screw these in. Yeah, that's how you know it. The screw's still sticking out and it's in there nice and good, so. Got good contact with everything. Boom. We're in there good. Alright, so if it's a little wobbly, but see that way we don't have any airflow. You know, I can put just a little bit of factory cement if I need to, if it's leaking, but other than that, we're nice and tight, nice and good. There we go. Now, since I don't know if I put the positive and negative on right, with a thermocouple, if you hook it up and it starts going down, just flip the negative and positive and it'll start going up. So I'm not too worried about negative and positive for the thermocouple. But we got this part in. Let's get to the rest of the build. Over to the oven. Alright. So I actually went to Home Depot today and bought some 12 gauge wire and some 18 gauge wire. It's actually 18-2. Now, I would suggest if you're not good at wiring and you get 18-2, because this is going to run to the PID. You might want to get black and white or black and red or something, but I couldn't find it. So I'm just going to take a pen, and when I cut the piece, I'm going to mark one side black. You know, that way I'll know, and that's a little trick. So the first thing I'm going to want to do, now here's the heat wire. This is going to go from the actual elements back to the relay or back to power. I'll get into wiring that first, but this is what's going to go to the elements. For me, I'm probably going to want to move this oven up on top of my old oven. So I'm going to want to make sure I cut plenty that it's going to come to anywhere I want to go. Yeah, so we're going to want to cut it over to here, because in case, I don't know, if I set it, keep the oven here, it'll be fine. I'll just have extra wire I can put in the box. I went and bought another one of these boxes. It's way big, you know, but it's a perfect oven where you can stand the PID up. You might actually want something half of this width, you know, like smaller, as long as it's deep, so you can hang it in. And, you know, I just like to be able to open it up. If you look at this box right here, I can open this up. and this all comes over like that, so I don't have to worry about the wiring. But anyway, I digress. Let's cut this heat wire. You always want to give yourself more. Give yourself about a good foot, because once you get everything wired in and all that, you can always recut it. So, as everything falls down on top of me, man, when you take a week off, everything goes haywire. Don't even have my snips on me. Alrighty. I don't know if one of these works on this or not. Oh, good. It does. So this one's going to go to the long wire over here. Now let me go find my caps. What do you know? Looks like I put them away somewhere. The last place you look is where they should be, right? All we're going to do is take our cap, put it in there. They're all nice and good, nice and tight. Alright, now, here's what I was thinking. This is going to be a hot wire. I have plenty of this KO wool. Now, if I can just wrap this around it and tape the KO wool down, we should be good. So I made sure those connections were nice and tight. Wrapped it with KO wool to keep it insulated. Probably in a month or two I'm going to have to redo that, but you know, that should be good to keep everything from burning up. If you're doing 120, you're going to want these small ones, not these big ones. These are made for 240, 220. I've probably said that before. And wiring 120 is different. When you do 220, you got two hot wires come in. 120, one's hot and one's neutral. And then you got your ground. Positive and negative really matter when it comes to 120. And you want your smaller things. This is for 220. I want to make that clear right now. I'm using the bigger elements. In fact, I bought bigger elements to put in this big oven too. But I'm going to do that off of camera and all that. Anyway, back to this. We got that one wire. We got one wire coming here. Now one of these goes to the relay and one of these goes straight to power. So see, give it a good pull. Make sure it's on there. Good pull. You know, you don't yank it out because then of course it will come out, but just a good enough yank so you know it's in there. Just get the top on this thing. See what I mean? This is going to hang over a little bit, but I'd rather have all that weight there on it than not. It is good to crisscross these, so I'll have to figure all that out when I'm getting this done. But you see, we're like right on the line, so that's why I want to add a second brick in here like that. You know, add another brick. I'll cut one of these bricks in half, put it in here, and then use the other half back here. But right now we just want to see if these elements turn on and the thermocouple works and the PID works and all that. Then we can put it in the box and get all that stuff done. This isn't going to really get up to a good temp and all that stuff, but it will show us that everything works or doesn't work or what needs to work, so on and so on. I had to reshoot all this. I had a whole bunch of stuff. Sorry the video's late, but man, I was going through it and I had a bunch of corrupt stuff and it just was boring, and so I came down here and I'm going to just show you how I have it all hooked up and show it running, and hopefully it will go good from there, because man, that's why it's so late. I was sitting there editing and it's like, God, this is either just going to confuse people that don't know about electronics, or it's going to bore people to death and they're going to click away. That's why it's late. I'm reshooting all this and hopefully making it good enough so people that don't know much about electronics can get this hooked up. You know, now that we got everything wired here and wired here, we got these running out. Alright, so now what I had to do for the thermocouple was take some of this thicker wire and cut it. I used some of the same wire I used for the heat wire. This wire, this heat wire, this is coming off the elements. I think that's where we left off. So I cut two small pieces because this thermocouple wire is so thin and so small, it won't go in these holes. So I just made a little, 2-inch piece. So this would be tight and this would hold. You don't have to worry about this coming out. And I just tapped them here. Threaded them down. These are all tight. Make sure everything's tight there. So then you run your thermocouple out. Make sure if you have an outlet, you buy the right kind of outlet, because for 220 they have 3 different outlets. They have the one which I usually buy, which is it has like a cross here, and you can switch them up and down, and that's where I have everything else out. But I must have had to buy this outlet because they were out of the other one. Now when it comes to this configuration, they have one that this is straight up and down instead of a U. So I went and bought that one, of course, bought the wrong one. What's new? But so then I had to go back and buy that. So that's why I'm reshooting all this. This whole thing was just a big fiasco, but now we got it wired up. So ground goes to here, and the 2 hots don't matter because it's 220. You can switch them either way. But there was like 5 minutes of me wiring this up, so you don't need that. Now it runs down to here. Here's your switch. Now what you're going to do is on one side of the switch, you're going to plug in. Now, until you hook up metal, like if you look at this oven, let's see. If you look at this oven, it's all metal, right? The only part I'm putting on this that's going to be metal is going to be the door. So I'm going to hook the ground to there. But your PID does not need ground. The only thing that needs ground is whatever is metal. So if you touch metal, it doesn't short you out. So you have your switch. All you need to do is when you're running the ground, you just hook your switch here, and then you leave your ground and you run your ground straight to your chassis. Okay, now this should go without saying, but do not plug your plug in while you're wiring everything. So you can see down here, I had a bunch that just slipped off. Now I don't know if it's my crimpers that are not doing them, if it's a double wire, but I got the bigger ones. They're like 12 to 10, so they should last. But just so we have support in case something pulls, I'm going to go ahead and tape these up. That way we know that when it pulls, it's not going to pull on the wire, which it shouldn't, but you never know. You don't want loose wires, especially when it's 220. You don't want a whole bunch of power or anything to slip out. And, so we have it crimped here, and we have it taped here. So we got kind of like the double security, I guess you would call it. And that way, if something does come out, you don't have to worry about them touching or anything like that. But I am going to replace this wire, because this wire right here is just too, it's for in the walls and stuff, so you can see how sturdy it is. It's not flexing, and we want flexible cable because we're going to have to wrap it up in a box. The good thing about these PIDs, polarity doesn't matter with 220. See what one slipped out right here too. I'm definitely replacing this wire. It's just too, it doesn't have any give to it, so it's moving everything around. So let me show you here. We got your 18.2. Polarity doesn't matter on this one. So you're going 220 in, 220 out. One of these goes right to your elements, and one goes to your relay right here. It doesn't matter which one you hook it to. You're going to want to look at your sheet. One of the heating elements to one of the 18.2s, and one that goes to the relay to the other side of the 18.2. You're going to have to look at your sheet. It says, on mine it says 6 and 7, 90 to 260 VAC. So you hook in 6 and 7. I was reading on this, but you have to check on yours. It says polarity doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter how you hook 6 and 7 up. And if you have 110, it's the same thing. That's it. This is the easy part. Your 220 comes in, you go to your switch, off of your switch, that goes, one goes to 6, one goes to 7, and then one goes to the element and one goes to the relay. This is my wire to my relay, this is my wire straight to my element. Man, these Home Depot things, they just flex too easy, and they flex out, and next time I'll probably get the one with the ring so I can take the screw all the way out and just tie it down. But you want to make sure nothing is touching. Like I said, right now, negative and positive don't matter as much. I'm definitely going to put this together and cut these off, so. But anyway, I digress, that's later. So the thermocouple on mine is 4 and 5, where it says TC input. So 4 is positive and 5 is negative. Like I said before, if you turn this on and the temperature starts going down, just switch to negative and positive and it'll start going up. And the only thing left is your solid state relay. Now here's what I was talking about before. I put black ink on the positive here and I ran it. I made sure I was only on one strand. Like, here's what you do. You don't want to get them backwards. So you'll put black ink right here on one of them. You know, you'll split these apart like this. So you'll have one in one hand and one in the other. Take black ink and you put it on one of them. Then you take your finger and you just run it down that same wire. Don't sit there and try to make sure. Keep your finger on that same wire and then split it and mark it black. Or I would actually keep your finger on it, mark it black, then split it. Either way. That way you know the one with the black mark, like this. See, black mark here, black mark here. But I would suggest, like I said, if you can find 18-2 with black and red or black and white, either one. Home Depot, this is all they had, same color. So as long as you make sure you mark the same wire, it doesn't matter, because that's all it is 2 sheathed wires put together. You run positive here to positive here, negative here to negative here. And that's it. That's the wiring. It's 6 wires. You know, now, I will say, one thing I'm not doing here until I get everything in the box and everything tidied up is what you're going to want is like a breaker. This is a 20 amp breaker. What I would do is when you have it coming in here to your element, you can either use the one on the element or you can use the one going to the relay. You're just going to cut it and you're going to put one wire here and one wire there. That way if something, you know, if you have a power surge, it'll trip this. You know, instead of causing a fire, you're going to trip your breaker. But I'm not putting that in now. I'm going to put that in later. This should be good right now. Just make sure nothing is touching and we plug it in. Now, like I say, this is ground and the 2 hots don't matter for this. So there we go. I like to, since I have all these bare wires, I like to wrap it while I'm holding it so I don't have to worry about shocking myself because we are live now. So there we go, we're on. And here, it just kicked up. Ooh, I can feel that heat already. See, we're already up to 160. Look how fast that's climbing. It doesn't even have a door on it. Whew. Man, that's hot. But man, look at that thing blazing up. Whew. Yeah, man. So, there we go. That's it. Now, the thing is, when the first time I recorded this light was on right here, but my elements wouldn't come on. That means you have a loose connection here and here. And I was wrong. This isn't only live, but it's hot too, so it is red. So that's why I put this on here, right here. You know, whew, man, we're already up to 600 degrees, so let me kick this off. Remember, this is hot, that's why we had to put it in the box, so. All right, now see, this light just went out, so there's no power. So, what you can do, like I have on my other box, now you can put a switch. You can put a switch either on, what I have it on my other one is the one that comes in the positive has a switch on it, a single pull, single throw. This is double throw, double pull. So 2 come in, 2 come out. A single pull, single throw, it's just 1 and 1. And you just cut one of these and you put the switch. And that'll turn your elements off just like that. Anytime you want to turn it off, you flip that switch. But this is basics. Positive and negative for your thermocouple. You know, your 220 in, which, you know, one goes to your element and one goes to your relay. Here's the element, here's the relay. I got the 18-2. One goes to the element, one goes to the relay. That's on the other side of the switch. Let me unplug this so I'm not sitting there messing with hot wires. So here, 220 in, boom, boom. You switch it on, you got 220 out, right here. And this goes straight to 6 and 7, which are my 220 in. So I got one wire on one wire and the other wire on the other wire. It's that simple. You just splice your wires together, put them on, connect it to the switch. You got your solid state relay, which is plus, and negative goes to plus and negative. Then at the relay, the wire that comes off 220 goes in and it comes out right to the element. 6 wires, that easy. Now if you want to add lights, there's a whole bunch of stuff. So that's about it, 6 wires. Now I'm going to put all this stuff on a playlist. And the first video for this build, you'll see all the supplies. But I've also got a bunch of videos where I'm fixing this oven, where I'll show you how I wired that whole box and all that. Between all these like 7 or 8 videos, you should be able to build and fix your heat treat oven. So I think that's about it. I'll tell you what, taking a week off really messed me up because I shot this on Tuesday. The footage was all corrupt. 2 cameras shut off. This camera right here, for a lot of it, wasn't in focus. And man, just problem after problem. But you know, persistence pays off. I came down here, it's Thursday morning. I reshot it because, man, that footage before, it was just me stripping wires and showing every little part. But if you don't know how to strip wires, you know, look it up because stripping wires is real easy. Get one of these and you strip wires. But other than that, that's it. It's 6 wires to get it up and running. Now, if you want to add lights and all that, go look in the playlist. I've got a whole bunch of things on wiring your whole thing. But we got it up and running. That should help you get it up and running. I just stripped it down to the basics. Making it real easy. So let me know. I actually had a guy comment that said he went to a fireplace shop and bought fire bricks. Or they were throwing out fire bricks. I didn't even think of that. I spent as much on shipping my bricks as I did on the actual bricks. So if you can find a fireplace shop around you or something, you know, someone that does fireplace repairs, you might be able to find soft K23 bricks. Don't get the hard bricks, they have to be the soft one. If you have any questions about building a heat treat oven, I'd be glad to help you out. Make sure to like, make sure to comment. My Amazon links are on my website up above. I got shirts like this, and I've actually got a new shirt coming today. I don't know if I like it or not, so I have to see how it looks and get your guys' opinion. But anyway, I digress. That's about it. So thanks for watching. Hope y'all are having a great day. I gotta go edit this video again. And as always, take it easy. Alright, so I decided to just go Home Depot and buy one of these after all. Yep. Well.